Today I'm going to be sharing the recipe for this light, smooth, delicious pumpkin cheesecake. It's got a crisp pumpkin spice graham cracker crust and would be perfect as dessert after a heavy Thanksgiving meal. If this is your first time here, my goal is to share easy, delicious recipes that you can recreate at home for your friends and families. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and also to click the notification bell so you know every time I have a new recipe. Well, let's get started. Today I'll be using a homemade pumpkin puree to make this cheesecake. You can also use a canned puree if you prefer. You can check out my pumpkin puree recipe if you need a detailed tutorial on how to make this. So first you want to cut your pumpkin lengthwise and then open it, then clean out the seeds. You can always toast the seeds as a snack for later. Next you want to place them face down on a parchment lined baking pan and then bake them for an hour. Once they're baked, scoop out the flesh and then blend until smooth. You'll find that it has some liquid left in it, so what you want to do is cook it down until it's really nice and thick and ready to use. So that's your pumpkin puree. Now it's time to make the pumpkin spice graham cracker crust. So now pour your graham cracker crumbs into a bowl. Next, put in your pumpkin spice. Then add your brown sugar and then add your salt. So mix this together thoroughly until they're very well combined. And then you add in your melted butter. So mix that thoroughly until the butter is well incorporated with all the dry ingredients. And then pour that into your springform pan. So next what we want to do is compress all of the crumbs. You want to make sure it's tight and compact so it keeps the shape when you bake it, and also so it can hold your cheesecake batter. Once you're done, bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 12 minutes and then set it aside. Next it's time to make the cheesecake batter. So add your cream cheese to your mixing bowl and mix thoroughly. You need to make sure your cream cheese is at room temperature before you do this. So mix thoroughly until it's smooth and then no longer any chunks at the bottom of your mixing bowl. So here I'm scraping the bottom of my bowl just to loosen it a bit. And you want to mix that again until it is nice and smooth. Next, add your brown sugar and then cream that in until it's also well incorporated into the cream cheese. Again, you want to scrape down your bowl to make sure there are no chunks of cream cheese at the bottom of the bowl. And then mix a little more. Next you want to add your eggs one at a time. Again, your eggs should be at room temperature. So all your ingredients should be at room temperature to make sure that they are well incorporated, also that your batter doesn't break while you're mixing it. So again, you want to scrape down the bowl. So every time you add a new ingredient, it's important to scrape down the bowl to make sure that you don't have any chunks at the bottom of your bowl. So mix that thoroughly and then add another egg. Again, you're adding the eggs one at a time. And then that's your third egg. So mix that thoroughly until there are no longer any egg streaks and it's looking nice and smooth. Now it's time to add your pumpkin puree. So you want to add that a little at a time while you mix the batter. So keep adding it a little at a time until all of the pumpkin puree is well incorporated into the batter. You do not want to see any chunks of pumpkin puree in your batter. So next it's time to add the sour cream to the batter. So scrape all of that out and then add it to your cheesecake batter. So I love adding sour cream to my cheesecake batter because it just gives it a little more flavor and it's not as sugary sweet. So scrape down your spatula and your paddle attachment, and it's time to add the remaining ingredients. Now it's time to add the vanilla, add your salt, and then add your pumpkin spice. This is a really easy recipe that you can put together very quickly. So next you want to mix this. Again, mix thoroughly until all your ingredients are well combined. Do not over mix it so you don't incorporate too much air into the batter. So scrape down your paddle attachment and then take it off the mixer, and then just stir your batter a little more to make sure that you haven't missed any of the ingredients. Like, just make sure there are no chunks and everything is well mixed in and very well incorporated. Now it's time to pour it into your baked graham cracker crust. So pour all of the batter in and just smooth it on top. And then heat the pan on your countertop just to release any air bubbles that may have formed. Next, place your springform pan on a sheet of foil paper and wrap it around the pan. This will act as insurance when you place the pan in your water bath, so that way water doesn't leak into or get into your cheesecake. So wrap that around really tightly. Make sure it stays in place. And then it's time to place that into your water bath. So all you need to do for your water bath is get a pan that is slightly bigger than your springform pan, and you can use that as your water bath. So here I'm using a really big cake pan or baking pan. Next, you want to pour some boiling water into the pan. Make sure you do not use cold water because you want the temperature of the water to be as close to your oven as possible. And it's time to tent or to cover your cheesecake with foil. So create some vents at the top of the foil so that way any steam can be let out. And this will also help your cheesecake cook evenly. Next, place your cheesecake in a preheated 325 degrees Fahrenheit oven and bake for about an hour to an hour 15 minutes. To check if your cheesecake is done, you want to jiggle it a little bit. If the center jiggles like jello, then it's perfect and it's ready. If it's still a little watery in the middle, put it back in the oven for about 5 to 10 minutes and just keep checking it. So my cheesecake is ready now. What you want to do is run a warm knife around the edges of the cheesecake just to loosen it a bit, so that'll prevent it from cracking when it's cooling down. So run that right around the edge of the cheesecake and then leave it to rest at room temperature for about 3 hours. Next, put it in the fridge for about 8 hours and then it's ready to serve. So you want to take off your springform pan after it's been chilling in the fridge for about 8 hours. And then it's time to decorate your cheesecake. So here I'm going to be decorating it very simply with pecans, but it can be as elaborate as you like. So here I'm just going to place the pecans at the edges of the cheesecake, and then it's ready to serve. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, make sure to hit the like button. Also, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, because that would help me very much. And also make sure you share this with your friends and family. You can also check out some of my other recipes, and I'm sure you'll really enjoy them. Well, you take care now, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Bye bye.